We have a bunch of things to talk about, from Sony lying on Twitter to Mafia 4 being in development in Unreal Engine 5, as well as Avowed using Unreal Engine 5, plus more. So let's get into it. So May the 4th is Star Wars Day. You get a lot of companies out there tweeting Star Wars things or Star Wars sales. I even fell for some of the Star Wars sales, bought a couple of figures. You can see them in the background there. It's actually a pretty fun day if you are a Star Wars fan. Even with the most recent videos, which a lot of people didn't like, including myself, there was a lot wrong with those movies. It's still a fun day to be a part of. And you have companies out here that play with it. And one of those companies was Sony. And here is what they tweeted out before actually deleting this tweet. They said here, "May the 4th be with you. As a reminder, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake is coming exclusively to PlayStation 5. And they got called out for this because, as we know, Knights of the Old Republic is not exclusive to the PlayStation 5. One, it's a timed exclusive, and it is also releasing on PC. One of the accounts that called this out here was Hazador Gaming. And they said here, they sourced a tweet from Tully Ackland, who back in October verified that Knights of the Old Republic is also coming onto PC, saying lots of love and support from you all and lots of questions, echoing Ryan Treadwell. Yes, it's a full remake. Yes, timed exclusive for PS5 and PC. Yes, that's wonderful. Reprising her role as Bastilla. Lots more to talk about in the future, but for now, we work." Now, to be fair, Tully Ackland is a senior game designer right now at Raven Software, but obviously formerly he was working on the KOTOR remake, as you can see here in his Twitter profile. And when he was working there, that's when he confirmed here that this game was going to also be coming to the PC and that it was a timed exclusive for the PlayStation 5. We have more people here who called it out. You have Ironhide Gaming who called it out, saying, "Lol, what the hell? We really made Sony delete their tweet for sharing misinformation." Again, the tweet that they did out and the response to it was, "I understand if Sony doesn't want to mention the fact that KOTOR is timed exclusive to PlayStation 5, but straight out saying exclusive to PS5 is a false statement, and the game is also coming to PC day one." So after all of this stuff, you can see here that Sony deleted their tweet saying that Knights of the Old Republic was an exclusive game to PlayStation 5. And this is a big deal because if you remember the first Knights of the Old Republic, it was a console exclusive to Xbox. It's an amazing RPG for a lot of people, probably one of the best games they played on Xbox. For me personally, it was really the first game that really started my love for RPGs. Playing it on the original Xbox, randomly picking it up, having no idea what the game was like and what it was going to be about. And it was just such a great game. And now we have the remake, which was announced at the Sony event to be a timed exclusive, or at least when they first showed it off, an exclusive to PlayStation 5, later confirmed that it was timed exclusive and also coming to PC. And it's taking a game that is known for being on Xbox and taking it to a time exclusive for PlayStation. They obviously paid a bunch of money for this deal. Then you have Sony here tweeting it out, making people believe that it is literally only coming to PlayStation 5 and nowhere else. They don't mention anything about the timed exclusivity. They don't mention anything about the PC, and people have called them out on it, and then they go ahead and delete their tweet. Now, Sony themselves, this account, the social media manager, whoever's running this Sony account, literally could have just made a mistake. It may not have been on purpose. The fact that they deleted their tweet shows that they realized their error. But if we go here through the comments, you can see people giving their opinion, saying, "I think the Twitter guy from Sony forgot to state it's console exclusive." Then response, "Timed console exclusive. Yes, I agree." I honestly think their social media person just biffed and really didn't know all the info. Honestly, probably because the person running the official Sony account doesn't really need to know that much about video games, because I mean, the Sony account covers a wide range of electronics, TVs, cameras, all that type of stuff. It's not just about PlayStation. So they may have just accidentally made that mistake and then realized after, hey, this isn't a exclusive to only PlayStation 5. It is going to be coming out on other platforms either later on or at release, like on PC. So they went ahead and deleted it. Everyone should be forced to use direct real information, like for example, console exclusive for 12 months, also coming to PC, etc. Doesn't even need to go that far. They could have simply said PS5 exclusive and been okay. But when they claim it is only coming exclusively to PS5 is when they have simply crossed the line in falsehood. There is a difference. And the problem with this, even after the tweet has been deleted, we've seen this with previous news articles from the big outlets like IGN, where they tweet something out, they put out an article. We recently saw it with the Xbox Pink controller. We've seen it with Kotaku with Halo Infinite thinking that it was delayed again off of a completely obviously troll account that tweeted out it was delayed, and then they actually fell for it. But when you think about it, the problem with putting these headlines out, then deleting it and not retracting it and saying, hey, I made a mistake and that information that I put out about this game or this console or whatever was false, is that people see that original headline, they run with it, and it definitely influences their buying decisions going forward. Now, somebody may think here that they need to buy a PlayStation 5 in order to play Knights of the Old Republic, which just simply isn't the case. And Knights of the Old Republic, a very popular franchise. It's a game that a lot of people are looking forward to. Me, myself, extremely excited for this. It's unfortunate that it isn't coming to Xbox as well, not because I'm an Xbox fan, but because less people are going to be able to experience it at launch. And Sony probably just paid a ton of money to keep this game away from the other platforms. All right, moving on here to the Xbox and Bethesda showcase, and it's a show everyone's extremely excited for. You can actually go to the Xbox website and add the show to your Outlook calendar to make it an Outlook meeting. And when you do that, it comes up as an hour and 30 minutes or 90 minutes. And people are saying that this is confirming that the show is 90 minutes, which is absolutely not the case, as Xbox hasn't officially announced how long the show is going to be. We have heard that most of the studios, or pretty much every studio, has submitted content for this show, and they've been seeing a lot of cool demos. Jason Ronald tweeting out the other day that he saw a lot of demos and he's very excited about it. Specifically tweeting this: spent the morning checking out some cool demos the team is working on for the future. The very best way to start a day. Now, he's not specifically saying that these demos are going to be shown off at the show, but I'm guessing you can assume that he's looking at demos that they are trying to get ready for the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. So when it comes to the length of it, it is not confirmed for 90 minutes, and Aaron Greenberg makes it clear, saying, we don't have a final show runtime yet, but yes, typically we end up close to that 90-minute mark. We'll keep folks posted as we get closer. So it's something to keep an eye out if you're trying to prepare for this show, trying to block off a slot of time where you're going to be able to focus and watch it. It's probably going to be around 90 minutes, could be 2 hours, could be 2.5 hours, who knows? It depends how much content they want to show off. From everything we're hearing so far about this show is that there is a ton of content that they have, and I'm guessing they're going to have to keep it within a time range. They can't have like a 5-hour show, so they're probably gonna have to cut some stuff if there is just too much content out there available, and pick what the most important stuff is. You think about a game like Starfield, that's probably going to take up a big chunk of time, plus all of the other demos are going to want to be showing off from the Xbox Game Studios. And when it comes to the Xbox and Bethesda showcase, that's not the only thing that we're getting at the beginning of June, the first couple of weeks. Another show that generally is pretty decent is the Summer Games Fest, Jeff Keighley show. And he's actually made a pretty cool announcement I think people will be excited for, and that is that they're teaming up with IMAX, where you can go and actually watch this show, as well as the Game Awards in December, saying, get ready, IMAX is teaming up with us for Summer Games Fest on June 9th and the Game Awards in December. That's right, watch all the reveal, surprises, and announcements with your friends in select IMAX theaters for full-scale immersion. This is going to be cool. IMAX Live. So select theaters, not really sure where it is yet, but you're going to be able to potentially go to a theater, watch it in IMAX, and then just watch all the cool trailers, and everyone's going to be cheering, and it's going to be just a more immersive atmosphere, which I think people want. We haven't had E3 in person for 2 years now, and who knows if we're going to get back to E3 in person at any time soon. One of the best parts about these events is that everybody gets to one location and gets to watch all this stuff together and talk about it, and the community comes together. And unfortunately, over the last couple of years, because of the pandemic, it's all been online, so it's been harder. But something like this would be fun to go to, I think. So it's cool that they are teaming up with IMAX, and hopefully Summer Games Fest has some really huge announcements. That's going to be a show that sets up before the Xbox and Bethesda showcase, where we've seen it in previous years where Summer Games Fest has had some great stuff, which is kind of just whetted everyone's appetite for the stuff that was shown off at E3. All right, let's jump over here to a very significant announcement, I think at least, and that is Xbox is allowing people to access Xbox Cloud Gaming for free to play Fortnite. All you have to do is go to xbox.com/play, and you're going to be able to jump in. It says here, I'm excited to announce that we've partnered with Epic Games to make Fortnite available on supported browser-enabled devices for free with Xbox Cloud Gaming Beta in 26 countries. The only thing you will need to be able to do this is a Microsoft account, an iOS iPad OS, Android phone or tablet, or Windows PC with internet access. You just have to go over to that URL. You don't need to install anything. You don't need any membership other than obviously having that Microsoft account, and you're actually going to be able to jump in, play Fortnite on Xbox Cloud Gaming. I think this is significant because it's giving us a glimpse as to what Xbox is kind of planning on doing with their cloud gaming, which is more things like this, where you don't even need to be subscribed to Xbox Game Pass or Xbox Game Pass Ultimate to get access to it for free to play games that are playable through the cloud. They're probably going to continue to add more stuff like this to the service. And it's smart because it gets people having to make that Microsoft account to get in to play the game. They're instantly within their ecosystem. Even if they're playing it for free, they're going to be accessing their Xbox friends on the Xbox Cloud Gaming to jump in, and it will probably entice them to look more into Xbox Cloud Gaming, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, seeing what other games are accessible through the cloud, especially if this works flawlessly. It's a battle royale game. It's a game that needs to be precise. You can't have lag. You're not going to be able to win a match with lag or controls that just aren't precise compared to people who are playing it natively downloaded. So if they have a good experience with this, it'll probably entice them to go forward, make a Game Pass account, subscribe, and see what else is available through Xbox Cloud Gaming. Moving on here to talk about Unreal Engine 5. Now, Unreal Engine 5 has a lot of people excited. We've seen the demos. We've seen the Superman demo. We've seen the Matrix demo. We know that the Coalition is working hard with it. They helped make these demos. So it's very exciting because it shows that the graphics are definitely improving within this engine, and actually a pretty big leap from what we're seeing right now, which if you look at the graphics over the last couple of years, last couple of generations, there haven't been just massive leaps in the way that games look. They definitely have looked better lighting, all that type of stuff. But I feel like Unreal Engine 5 could be that next step forward in the way that games look and feel when you're playing through them. And more games are starting to use it. We have a new report here that Mafia 4 reportedly is in development and it is being built in Unreal Engine 5. So it says here, Mafia 4 is in early development phases over at developer Hangar 13, and it's expected to be a prequel to the Mafia trilogy, and it's also being built in Unreal Engine 5. And this announcement goes along with some departures from the studio, and it's from an official report from Kotaku where the studio head Hayden Blackman as well as the CEO Matthew Urban are leaving, and they're being replaced by Nick Baines, who is currently the studio head at Hangar 13's Brighton, UK office. So there's some changes going on in the background, but if you're a Mafia fan, something to look forward to, a prequel to the series being built in Unreal Engine 5. And sticking on talking about Unreal Engine 5, there was some information here that suggests that Avowed is also working and running on Unreal Engine 5. This says, FYI, Avowed is running on Unreal Engine 5, lead VFX artist on Avowed, working with Niagara FX in Unreal Engine 5. And this is from a LinkedIn post. You can see here, Aaron Dubois, lead VFX artist on Obsidian Entertainment. You go down here and it says, lead VFX artist on Avowed, working with Niagara FX in Unreal Engine 5. So that's pretty cool to see. It's going to be something that hopefully that they show off at the Xbox and Bethesda showcase in June. We get some Avowed gameplay. I think that's one that a lot of people want to see. There's a huge expectation for this game, and I'm sure Obsidian's going to be able to deliver. But running in Unreal Engine 5 means that this game could look absolutely amazing when it launches for the Xbox Series X and S. And finally, we have this controversy here on Twitter via Imran Khan, who quote tweeted a tweet from the Game Bakers, which is an indie developer who created a game called Fury and released it into Xbox back in 2016. So the Game Bakers tweet out, Fury never captured a lot of attention on Xbox, and unfortunately, we had to prioritize platforms. We hope to be developing for Xbox again in the future. Thanks for supporting our games. And the reason they tweeted that out was because they are putting out DLC, but they aren't going to be putting that DLC onto Xbox. And the reasoning for that was because I guess there was not enough support on the platform. But again, this is a game that released back in 2016. So Imran Khan quote tweets it and says, this is not an uncommon refrain. I wonder if Xbox is becoming a console where if you're not on Game Pass, there's just little chance of gaining any traction. Now, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinion, this is a very bad take. It's a bad faith take because you're looking at a game that released back in 2016 in an Xbox generation with the Xbox One, which just wasn't a successful generation. It did not do well. It would be like looking at how a game performed on the Nintendo Wii U and then saying that game's not going to continue to perform well on Nintendo and they're not going to release it on the Nintendo Switch, which would just be absolutely absurd. The Xbox One was a bad generation. It was vastly outperformed by the PlayStation 4, and we're not seeing that this time around. The Xbox generation with the Xbox Series X and S is wildly successful. It's outselling the PS5 in the first quarter of 2022. Their ecosystem is continuously growing. Games can be accessed on multiple different screens through the cloud, through your console, through your PC, and it is just a vastly better place to play than it was back during the Xbox One generation. So comparing a game that was released in 2016 and coming to the conclusion that if you don't put a game onto Game Pass, it's not going to sell well on the platform is an absolutely absurd take in my opinion, especially when it's coming from a journalist. Now, he writes for Fanbyte Media. I don't really follow their stuff. I've read a couple of their things. It's kind of not my cup of tea, to put it lightly. And these takes here are worse when you double down on it rather than just admitting that it is a bad take. Because he goes on here to say, okay, let me rephrase. Since people are saying Game Pass didn't exist then, Game Pass numbers equal good. Things on a Game Pass before and during Game Pass equal not very good. To sell well on Xbox equals probably needs to be on Game Pass. And we've seen countless times where third-party games sell more than adequately. They sell well on Game Pass. Elden Ring, that just came out, sold very well on Xbox, and that wasn't on Game Pass. And I'm sure there are many different examples that we can see of third-party games coming out, not released on the Game Pass and still selling very well on the platform during the Xbox Series X and S generation. And that's why people are taking offense to his opinion here about Xbox. Cold Eastwood down here replies, no, Xbox platform was much smaller back in 2016. The mass majority of console owners did not want an Xbox One. That was the problem. That problem is reversed now. And he's spot on that. You have Jon Snow saying, you can't really tweet something completely misleading and asinine and then try to let me rephrase. Just delete this shit altogether. And then we have this example here, which a lot of people have referenced, and it's Death's Door. I mean, Death's Door was an Xbox console exclusive, did not release into Xbox Game Pass on day one, sold 100,000 copies within its first week across the areas that it was released on. And it was also a top 10 seller on the Xbox Store. In fact, this post was from 9 months ago, and it says, Death's Door gets to the top 10 sellers on the Xbox Store. It's the second top selling new release. So right there you have data that you put a game onto the Xbox console during this generation. If it's a good game that people want to play, they are still going to go out and buy it, even if it isn't on Xbox Game Pass. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know your thoughts on all of this stuff. The Unreal Engine 5, the misleading tweets from journalists, as well as from PlayStation 5, the Xbox and Bethesda showcase, Fortnite getting access to Xbox Cloud Gaming for free. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, you liked what you saw, consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.